with that being said, it doesn't mean that it can't be accomplished at some point. I mean, he continues to do this, continues to play well, and the team continues to win with him as the quarterback. Yeah, then I think it'll end up being a difficult decision, and maybe not all that difficult, and one that you just end up going with him. It's premature for me now,
right.
But confidence is a interesting thing, and all of a sudden you get a quarterback playing with a lot of confidence. The team starts to develop that confidence as well.
Overreaction for now.
For now.
For now.
He's our starting quarterback. For now.
For now. Fair enough.
It's definitely an overreaction for me, but Tim is right. Confidence is a stain that you can't wipe off. And this guy comes out and he plays this game understanding and knowing that he can accomplish the things this team needs to win. And some of the knocks on Gardner Minshew, not being necessarily tall enough, not the elite arm strength. We're seeing guys play in this league because they understand defenses, they understand scheme, they can anticipate throws, they can also get out of the pocket and make plays with their legs and find people downfield. Gardner Minshew has shown those things. He's also kind of showed us that he's a winner. Right, he wins two of the last starts he's had, and he's made plays for his teams to be in position to win every game he played in. Because remember, in Houston, they go for two to try to win the game with the run to Leonard Fournette because he drives them for a score. This kid has the goods, and at least in Jacksonville you have a great backup to Nick Foles.
Yeah, it's an overreaction, and I agree with everything you guys said. But listen, they gave Nick Foles $22 million a year to come in and be their quarterback.
50 guaranteed, right?
And Nick, yes, but at the same time, Nick won that team over in the locker room as well. And Gardner Minshew has, listen, when they name Minshew the backup quarterback and they think they're a playoff caliber team, he's a 6th-round draft pick. That tells you something that they thought about Gardner Minshew by making him the backup to Nick Foles. And Foles was injured in the first half of the first game, so Minshew hasn't dominated, but we know that this week to week, if this continues, it continues to roll. Yeah, of course.
I think if you watch him, at least until this week, Gardner Minshew has been more Baker Mayfield, at least the Baker Mayfield I expected to see, than Baker Mayfield has. You look at Gardner Minshew, you compare him to Kyler Murray, or even the little bit we saw of Dwayne Haskins. Other than Daniel Jones, when you look at the young rookies, this guy has outplayed them all, both preseason and in his regular season starts. And that has to be a good feeling when you draft a guy, a team can believe in him, and he can step right in and make you a team that competes in this league.
And the irony of it, but it still connects up to his success, is that he almost cut short his college career to go be a coach and the third-string quarterback at Alabama to begin his coaching career. That's his command of the game in terms of his understanding.
Says a lot about his understanding,
Exactly.
Plus, that's like a bumper sticker. Confidence is a stain. Would you say confidence is a stain you can't wipe off?
There was a great philosopher. It's a great philosopher from New Orleans named Dwayne Carter. We know him well as Lil Wayne.
Okay, and that's all right. I like it. Well, I feel like it should be a bumper sticker also.
You didn't need to tell her that was Lil Wayne's name.
What? I know Lil Wayne.
You knew that.
Yeah, I did. Okay. Anyway, speaking of New Orleans, Sunday night's matchup saw the Saints improve to 2-0 without Drew Brees. You're the worst, Tim. Despite becoming the first Saints team since '98 to win without scoring a touchdown. Meanwhile, Ezekiel Elliott managed just 1.9 yards per rush. That is the second lowest total of his career. But you can thank the defense for those two wins in large part. The Saints have allowed 9 fewer points per game since Drew Brees went down. They've also produced big plays. New Orleans scored 2 non-offensive touchdowns at Seattle last week, then forced the Cowboys to commit 3 turnovers last night. And it's almost as if that Saints defense got the memo. Look, we're without our starting quarterback, and we've got to pick up the slack here. So on Overreaction Monday, I'll say this. The Saints are still the best team in the NFC. Mort.
I'm going to say overreaction because I believe that the Philadelphia Eagles, they're 2-2, but bottom line is the Eagles, to me, when they get healthier, I think that team is the best team in the NFC. The Saints are a close second, but I think they would have a pretty good argument, the Saints do, because, listen, Drew Brees has missed 2 games. They've won 2 games.
Yeah, and for that reason, it's not an overreaction for me. Prior to this year, when they haven't had Drew Brees and he's been a member of their team, they've been, I think, 0-4. They hadn't won a game without him is the point. And so, to go on the road and beat the Seahawks and then to beat the Dallas Cowboys, who I think are a very good team, they kind of play differently offensively. I mean, they look different on offense than they do just in terms of how, they're calling plays. And so it's their defense that's been carrying them, which I think is a great thing for a team.
Yeah.
It kind of weathers you,
Yeah.
to be ready to win games in different ways when it matters the most.
This is not an overreaction for me. This team, when you look at losing Drew Brees and facing a road game in Seattle and having to play the Cowboys at home with the way that they were playing with the backup quarterback, I know a lot of people think to themselves, okay, that's 0-2. You try to right the ship after that and hold on until Drew Brees is back. Defensively, they played extremely well. They've played well on special teams, creating scores there. And at least watching this team play right now and thinking about Drew Brees coming back on a neutral field, I take the New Orleans Saints over the Kansas City Chiefs, over the New England Patriots.
Wow.
I believe that when Drew Brees gets back, if they could continue to play the way that they're playing in the other two phases of the game, that this is the best team, not only in the NFC, but can be the best team in the NFL.
Their defense did get back Sheldon Rankins, who they lost to an ACL late last year, and so he was in his first game last night. So listen, maybe you're talking me into the other reaction.
Yeah, listen, and you know what? I'll say this, all seriousness, with confidence. If they can do this without their quarterback, and if that defense
You know what that'll be like?
can produce, then when he does come back, you
It'll be
talk
like
about
a stain.
That you
that
can't
you
wipe
can't
off.
wash off. Wipe off.
And you also have to
Excuse me.
think about it as well. Think about this team when Drew Brees was racking up records and they were scoring at such a prolific rate, and they still couldn't win games. There were times this defense was so bad they could score 40 and lose. And now you have a game where you don't score a touchdown, the first since 1998 that they have actually won. This is a totally different team, and the way that Sean Payton is coaching is different as
You mean
well.
it's a team game?
It is a team
I can't
game.
believe that. I thought it was all about quarterbacks.
Yeah, well, but Tim thinks so, but it's not true. New on NFL Live from our ESPN Cowboys reporter Todd Archer. The Cowboys did receive a piece of good news on Monday on the injury suffered